Luffy has a knack for swooping in just when things get tough, like a pirate version of a superhero. So today we are going to go through all the characters that Luffy has saved in the series, starting with Koby. Koby was a timid cabin boy trapped on the pirate Captain Alvida's ship who had dreams of becoming a marine. Enter Luffy, who kicks Alvida's butt in one punch and frees Koby from servitude. Not only does he save him, but he also gives Koby the courage to pursue his dreams. Only an episode later, Luffy saves another person. This time, it's the infamous pirate hunter Roronoa Zoro, who is tied up and about to be executed by the Marines. But as Luffy had decided that Zoro was going to be his crewmate, no one was going to stop this from happening. So Zoro goes from a captive to Luffy's right-hand man in record time. It's the ultimate bromance origin story. Next up are Usopp and Kaya. After finding out that Kuro was actually the captain of the Black Cat Pirates who was going after Kaya's fortune, Luffy and his crew weren't about to let that happen. So after some wacky fights and Luffy giving Kuro the ultimate headbutt, the day is saved and Usopp and Kaya could live happily ever after. Well, only if Usopp would have stayed on the island. Instead, he joined the crew and is on his way to become a brave warrior of the sea. Then Luffy made his way to the floating restaurant Baratie. Here he met Don Krieg, who came to take over the ship, known as the Pirate who returned from the Grand Line in record time after being one-shot by Mihawk. However, Luffy stepped in to save the ship, Sanji, and the entire establishment. And when fighting for food, Luffy is unstoppable. So this was always going to end in Luffy's victory. Nami, the skilled thief, was trapped under the thumb of Arlong, a fishman who truly hated humans, as she wants to buy back the freedom of her village from Arlong and his crew. However, after finding out that this is never going to happen, she is devastated and turns to Luffy for help. Luffy, being the bold captain that he is, confronts Arlong, takes him down, and saves Nami. Although it's not just a rescue, it's the moment Nami finds her true family with the Straw Hats. Now, let's not forget Laboon. The poor whale was trying to break through the Red Line after waiting for his friends to return for decades. When Luffy and the gang come along, they first hit him in his eye, got eaten, think they have gone to heaven, and then escape from inside the giant whale. After hearing Laboon's story, Luffy fights him and tells him that the fight ended in a draw, and he promises to return one day, giving the big guy hope. He painted the Straw Hat Jolly Roger on Laboon's head, or at least I think it's the Straw Hat's Jolly Roger, preventing Laboon from hitting his head any further. When Luffy met Laboon, he also met Miss Wednesday, and as we later find out is Princess Vivi from Alabasta being undercover. Vivi tells Luffy and the crew that Crocodile, a warlord and the leader of the Baroque Works, is trying to take over her kingdom. And in true Luffy fashion, he promises her he will take Crocodile down and liberate Alabasta. Although it was a bit harder for Luffy than he first thought. First, he only survived because of Nico Robin, then he lost the second battle as well, but the third time is truly the charm as he manages to take him down in their last battle. He not only saves Vivi, but also the entire country from certain doom. But he wasn't done just yet. After defeating Crocodile, Luffy saved Nico Robin from the collapsing Alabasta Palace as well, as she was just standing around waiting for her ultimate doom, having lost her will to live. Because of Luffy's heroic act, the crew added another member, and one of the most important people in the world, as Robin can read the poneglyphs. So I would say it was very worth it, and Sanji would agree. In Skypiea, Luffy became a hero, as his plot armor shone brightly during his epic showdown with the tyrannical ruler Enel. Luffy's epic showdown with Enel was not just about strength, it was also about freeing the people from a tyrant, which he ultimately did when he clocked him in his face. He literally knocked a god down a peg. So Luffy saved an entire island and all of its people. Now Luffy stopped saving people for a while, but the next person he saved was Nico Robin again. Luffy didn't stop at just saving her from letting herself die. He also rescued her from the clutches of the world government and the CP9. Not only did he physically save her from being taken to hell, yes, Impel Down is literal hell, just look at this. He also saved her psychologically as she finally saw the value in her own life and wanted to stay alive for herself and her newfound family. We now have another Straw Hat that Luffy saved, although he wasn't a member at the time. Brook. Luffy saved him from a life of loneliness after being separated from his crew for decades. And let's be real, even if Brook managed to get to Thriller Bark again on his own, he would 100% have died fighting Zombie Ryuma again. Luffy officially invited Brook to join the Straw Hats, giving him once again a family. When Hatchin was about to be killed by St. Charlos, Luffy did something worse than death in the series, punching a celestial dragon. This just brings me so much joy. Luffy truly showed that he doesn't care about the most powerful figures and that they can't hurt his friends. Someone you never thought Luffy would save is Crocodile, after everything he put Vivi and the people of Alabasta through. But at Impel Down, Crocodile was one of the people that Luffy saved, just like Jinbei, as Luffy needed allies to make his way to Marineford. Now let's talk about one of the most intense moments in One Piece, the rescue of Ace. When Ace is captured and sentenced to execution at Marineford, the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just a rescue mission, it's about saving family. Here, Luffy risked everything to save Ace from execution, fighting incredibly powerful people. Doing the impossible, he saved his brother from the execution platform, much to the help of his allies. Everyone, like myself, was on the edge of their seats watching this and crying out of happiness that Ace was rescued. But everyone's dreams came crashing down, of course, as Aka Inu made Ace into a donut. So Luffy technically saved Ace, but he died anyway. After having to take a 2-year break out of spite for Aka Inu and, of course, training to become stronger, Luffy and the crew reunite and make their way to Fishman Island. Here, Luffy has to face off against the new Fishman Pirates Captain Hody Jones, who wants to capture King Neptune and Princess Shirahoshi. But Luffy, still the same after 2 years, saves the royal family after fighting hard to take down Hody. Luffy's willingness to stand up against tyranny not only protects them, but also inspires the entire island. Next, we have Momonosuke, the adorable little dragon. During the Punk Hazard arc, he's in a dire situation, as he's trapped in a garbage dump after having eaten an artificial devil fruit. Here he meets Luffy, who swoops in like a true hero. Although he first wanted to eat him, he manages to give Momonosuke hope, and they escape from the garbage dump together. Although it did take a while. So if not for Luffy, Momonosuke would never have been able to get out of here alive. Reaching Dressrosa, Luffy worked overtime. First, Law gets absolutely wrecked by Doflamingo, and when it looks like Doflamingo is going for the kill shot on Law, Luffy charges in and puts his foot in the way, showing Law the bond of the two best friends. After saving Law, Luffy and Doflamingo go into an epic showdown, and this is one of the best fights in the series, showcasing Luffy's Gear 4 Bounce Man and Doflamingo's awakened Devil Fruit powers. However, Luffy has to rest for 10 minutes until he can fight again. So Rebecca and Viola jump in to stall for time, but they get easily overpowered, and Doflamingo uses Rebecca as a puppet to kill Viola with her blade. But once again, Luffy comes to the rescue at the last second to save Viola. Regaining his haki, Luffy finally beats Doflamingo and liberates Dressrosa from Doflamingo's tyrannical reign. So he saved everyone in Dressrosa as well. While half of the crew were in Dressrosa, the other half were at Zoo, and here Sanji found himself in a tricky situation, as his father and the Big Mom Pirates had made an arrangement for Sanji and Big Mom's daughter Pudding to get married. Although Sanji would never say no to a woman, he only agreed to follow through on this wedding to save his crew. But who would cook for Luffy if Sanji wasn't around? I know for a fact that Luffy can't cook and Zoro won't find his way to the kitchen, so Luffy had to get Sanji back. After fighting Cracker, Sanji himself, and a lot more people, Sanji ultimately found his way back to Luffy and rejoined the crew after Luffy went on a hunger strike. So although he almost died of starvation, Luffy did save Sanji from a life of misery. We now reach Wano, where the first person Luffy saved was Tama, as he actually saved her twice. First when they met for the first time as she was running from Kaido's men, giving her hope and a chance for a brighter future as he said he wanted to take down Kaido. The second time, she needed saving from Holdem after she was captured, and Luffy did not hold back on him. After being an inch from death himself at the hands of Kaido, Luffy was captured and imprisoned at Udon, where he met Hyogoro. Although Hyogoro was getting beat pretty badly, he wasn't about to die, but Luffy would change that. Lucky him. After Queen showed up to the prison, Luffy and Hyogoro had to wear death collars and fight to death in a sumo ring. This is where Hyogoro almost died, as he left the ring and the collar was about to explode, but Luffy powered up at just the right time to save them both. It doesn't matter to Luffy if it's exploding collars or explosive handcuffs, as he easily saved Yamato from her handcuffs, as Kaido wouldn't let her escape from the island. So once again, Luffy used advanced haki and broke Yamato's cuffs, freeing her from Kaido's bad parenting and adding a very powerful ally. And finally, during the Wano Country arc, Luffy actually saved everyone on Wano, not only the people in the Flower Capital, but everyone else as well, as they would have ultimately died from Kaido's tyranny. So Luffy is truly a hero. Although I would have loved to have added Vegapunk as someone Luffy had saved, as he promised he would, he failed in that mission. And there you have it, everyone Luffy saved in the series. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more One Piece videos. And why not watch this video next?